Hey, I'm Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're going to be comparing the Osprey Metron with the Osprey Radial. If you like videos like this one, be sure to give it a thumbs up so we can keep helping you find the right gear. Let's dive in. All right, so we've got the Metron on this side and the Radial on this side. And let's start with arguably one of the biggest differences between these two, which is the harness system. Kicking it off at the top here, we have, let's look at the top grab handles. So you can see here that on the Metron, it is angled a little bit more towards the back because we have this top pocket up here. And on the Radial, it's more towards the top. And I like the way it's positioned on the Radial a little bit more. It's just easier to grab and easier to hook up. But I understand why on the Metron, you know, it's kind of that bit of a compromise there. It's towards the back, just because of this top zippered area. Both of these packs have load lifters, which greatly help with the fit of the bag. As far as the load lifters go, they stay a little bit more in place on the Metron. They kind of can flop around a little bit more on the Radial on this side. But what the Radial has going for it, which is super awesome, is the ability to adjust it based on, you know, these little things down here. They're like these little buttons that you can take in and out. And if you have a longer torso, you can slot these in above. If you have a shorter one, you can really crank it down. So you can get the exact fit that you want. Each have a similar shoulder straps, almost identical if you look at them between the two. I like the rail system on both of them. And I think, you know, one of the things, well, let's talk about the shoulder strap first. We have, or the sternum strap here at the bottom. I like it on the Metron because it's a little bit thicker. I like how they handle it here a little bit more. This feels more substantial for me when I have it on when I'm biking. There's a bit more padding on the Radial down here, but the strap itself is quite thin. So I really prefer the Metron strap over the Radial strap because I think it's more comfortable for cycling. So I'm going to pull that up and just show you a little bit more closely. All right, so I mean, I guess the main difference here is, for me, is like the Metron seems like a little bit more well-suited to be an everyday carry bag as well as a cycling bag. And the Radial over here on this side is like a little bit more to like akin to like an outdoor and a hiking bag. So they're both great cycling bags. This one skews a little bit more like outdoor feature focused. This one skews a little bit more everyday carry focused. Personally, I prefer the Metron, but the Radial is also an amazing bag, and they're both super comfortable to wear on your bike as well. The one really great thing that the Radial has going on for it, which is, you know, kind of similar to hiking bags, is it's like a full frame here on the outside. And the Metron has a little bit of structure, a little bit of a frame sheet to it, but it's not that, you know, hardcore, I guess, as you would say. The breathability on the Radial wins for sure too. I mean, we have some mesh and some foam padding here, but again, this is a frame. It's like completely outside. You can see all the space you have between your back and the actual pack itself, which ends up being a lot more comfortable on the Radial. I think for me, it's just a little bit overkill, the Radial, for my personal needs. Okay, so I think that covers that. Each of these has a rain cover at the bottom, which is great. We have little eyelets. If water ends up getting inside of here, you know, it gets to the bottom of this little area down here, and the eyelet will drain out the water. So we have that on both of these bags. Both have a nice rain cover as well. All right, now moving on, we can take a look at these side pockets. So the Radial has just like a mesh zippered pocket on the side, and then the Metron has kind of this mesh zipper pocket as well, but this is completely vertical on the Metron, whereas on the Radial, you get a little bit more space in the front. And if we flip it over, we can really take a look at the differences in the water bottle compartments. So again, let me just grab a water bottle here so I can show you. With the Radial on this side, you add a water bottle like this, and it's tilted, orientated to where it's gonna be in a good position when you're riding your bike. And I think this is, again, great for biking, but for everyday carry when you're walking around, depending on how long your water bottle is. This is Yeti Rambler, I believe 18 ounce. You can start to feel it on the back of your arm, kind of rub into you. Whereas on the Metron, on this side, you can just kind of stick it in, and it, pretty tight squeeze with this bottle, but it gets more vertical, which I actually like a lot better. I just think that's, it's a little bit tighter. I don't really, need my water bottle to be angled in this way, although I think this is a smart design. This is good for both riding and for everyday carry, for daily carry. But the Radial is just slightly better for riding. So if you're riding like longer distances and you're more of a cycler, this might be the way to go. Again, if you're trying to get an everyday carry bag as well as a cycling bag, like for me, my bike commutes like 7 miles there and back, so it's quite easy. 7 miles there, 7 miles back, so it's quite easy. Okay, let's take a look at the front pocket. So we have like aluminum G hooks on the front of the Metron. This kind of reminds me of the Osprey Porter. So it has that kind of similar compression system that the Porter has. And I like that. It's nice. You can put like, other things inside of here if you want. You can really tighten this down and give it a nice slick look. The Radial just kind of sticks out. It's more like the Tropos. And it does that. I mean, this frame, since we haven't talked about it yet, there's like a kickstand feature. So this thing can stand up on its own. I mean, there's nothing inside of here right now, but even with nothing inside, it can pretty much stand on its own. The Metron, not even close. But the Metron has this in the front. This protrudes due to this frame at the bottom, this metal frame, which is kind of going like that. It's like the kickstand. Osprey Tropos does this as well, which we also have a review on. Both have these little tabs down here at the bottom for like a light that you attach to your back for more visibility, which is great. Each have the same mechanism to store your helmet. They both work great, although, if in the Metron, if you're storing your helmet and you're also trying to use this front little straitjacket compression system, can get in the way a little bit just based on your helmet and, the design of it and how big it is. I mean, you can fasten this and kind of put your helmet above the straitjacket system. It just depends on what you have inside of here. Both have this front area for a U-lock or something of that nature. It's like this mesh, stretchy material. Both are very similarly designed. However, on the Metron, you can see that there's more room at the bottom. And then if I'm gonna grab my water bottle just for measuring so you can see, that's gonna stick out. But the Radial is much deeper and can accept that entire water bottle. So if you want more room for outside of your bag storage, Radial is gonna be a better pick. But both fit a U-lock quite nicely. All right, and then we have, I'm trying just to keep this organized here. So let's talk about the pockets next. Starting with this top one. So the Radial opens up, it's a pretty big pocket. There's this scratch resistant material on the inside, which they say is good for sunglasses, but I think it's a really big pocket. So like this is my wallet, and if I put that in there, you can see just how much extra space. So to use that just for sunglasses, I think is a little bit of a waste. Whereas on the Metron, if we open that up, it's got that same material, but the pocket's a little bit smaller. It feels a little more streamlined too. You got this gusset on the top, which adds to a slicker look. Both have a gusset, but I think it's a very slick look on the Metron as well. It's just a little bit smaller and a little bit more discreet. Okay, now there is a kind of front organizer pocket here, which you can see on the Metron, and on the Radial, you have one as well, but they're very different. The Radial is bigger, okay? I mean, both have like this key clip, so if you want to put your keys on, that's fine. Both have very similar, I guess you would call like admin panels. There are 3 stretchy mesh pockets and a divider pocket for like a pen right here, and then another mesh or liner partition pocket here as well. So these are pretty much identical. And then the pocket itself goes down to here on the Metron, and on the Radial, it goes all the way to the bottom. So again, the Radial is going to give you more space on that front pocket, even though these are pretty much the same. Let me just get a quick finger measure. Yeah, those are pretty much the same height as well. So this opens up way more. Again, the Radial stays kind of tight to itself and opens up a little bit more in a bucket style to give you access to everything inside. Close this up, close the front pocket up as well. Let's get into the main compartment. Radial unzips halfway, and then we're gonna like undo the straitjacket again here and get access. Now that is one kind of annoying thing with the Metron is, well, it's annoying and it's not annoying. So if you keep the straitjacket thing, I don't even know if that's what it's called, but that's what I keep calling it. If you keep this engaged, it kind of functions like a top-loading backpack. So that strap is in the way, it kind of prevents stuff from opening up further on the inside. But if I actually undo that, undo both of these, and then I really can get access and really bring this thing open. Really get access to the inside, kind of a giant area, it really opens up. And then the Radial just opens up halfway down. So that's me getting full access to the Radial. Both have very similar organization on the inside. I mean, really, like very, very similar. You got space for stuff on the inside. I've just got 2 packing cubes here. So let me grab those and just show you. Those fit in here pretty well, like that. Fit in pretty well down here at the bottom too. With the Radial. Radial definitely feels like you got a little more space in there. And there's a front shoe pocket as well. So let me just grab one of my shoes here to show you. If I unzip this, we can get access. It goes down again to the bottom of the bag here. Get that wallet off to the side. Shoe can go right down to the bottom. There you go. Zips right up. And then likewise in the Metron, just for a visual measurement, I can show this one to you a little bit better. That opens up. I can put a shoe in. It goes down all the way to the bottom as well. So if you have larger shoes, these are a 10.5, and you can kind of see the sizing that fits in there. Obviously, if you have like cycling shoes that are more minimalist, that's better. These are just some like New Balances, but you got plenty of space to stick them down there at the bottom. And then one of the other little small nitpicks that I have with the Radial specifically is that sometimes it can be a little bit hard to, sometimes your laptop can get caught here when you are putting it in. It's a bigger pocket. I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro. It does fit in there, but it can just kind of get caught on the way down due to the frame sheet and the curve and the design of it and the way this folds in. Didn't have that problem with the Metron. Again, both are very similar laptop compartments, and tablet here in the front as well. And then both offer Velcro targets to secure them down. You can see there's just like slight design differences, so you can pull it down a little bit more on the Radial, but on the Metron it is a little bit smaller. So there you have it. That is the main differences between the Osprey Metron and the Osprey Radial. I hope this video helped you kind of pick between these two to decide which is the best for you. Thank you for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we will see you in the next video.